Hello Libra, and welcome to your April forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. So good to see everybody today. Just a quick reminder, these readings can always be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. We'll actually get into Sun, Rising, and Moon a little bit later, so I do hope you stick around. I begin each and every reading with channeled messages, and today I woke up with this beautiful energy of something good is about to happen. Specifically for you, Libra, there's some sort of a blessing or appreciation that was coming through. What I saw in dreams was someone putting their hand on the crown chakra, and I felt this it was like love or a transfer of energy, positive energy. For some of you, this can represent graduation, spiritual or educational expansion, or recognition. I chose two of the most spiritual cards here that we could pull in the major arcana, and that's the Hierophant and the High Priestess. The Hierophant in particular because it's kind of connected with this. Sometimes we have a gatekeeper in our life where you need that gold stamp of approval, and it felt like you were getting it from that Hierophant-like energy. And then the High Priestess recognizing or representing that expansion in the crown chakra itself, rather. I felt a lightening and brightening, that's the best way that I can sum it up, also going on in the headspace and just overall in your energy. So if you've been carrying heavy thoughts, emotional sort of baggage and things of that nature, it feels like April is when the curtains open, the light shines through, and something really exciting is about to happen for you. I also put here that karma, this can be major lessons in your life. It feels like you finally dealt with someone or something, and this is also recognition from your highest self or your guides, like job well done. So don't give up, keep working hard. Anything that you decide to put your time and energy behind when it comes to education or expansion very much is being supported and encouraged from your higher self. Okay, so that's the first message here. The second one was that feeling, that rush that you experience when something new is about to happen. And sometimes there's a little bit of jitters with this too, and I put it here in that second bullet. It could be like a first date, a first job, the first day of school. Any of the firsts in life carry with them both excitement, anticipation, and a little bit of nerves. But the important thing, like the Fool card here, is just to take a step at a time and have a little bit of fun with the energy of newness, because when everything isn't so spelled out or, kind of carved in stone, you get this chance to invent and explore. You can make a mistake here or there and blame it on, hey, I'm brand new. Enjoy those moments, it can actually be fun as well. Let's talk a little bit about the final bullet here. I recently rewatched the first installment of Dune, and then I saw the second one in the theater, and then I went back and watched the 1984 original. There was a line in the 84 version that isn't in the new ones, not to the same degree either, and it's about the sleeper needing to awaken. And the main character's father says, when things are always the same, it doesn't really create this feeling of movement. I'll read the line because it's here. A person needs new experiences. They jar something deep inside, allowing them to grow. Without change, something sleeps inside us, and it seldom awakens. And then he tells him the sleeper must awaken. So it's like that first day of school sometimes. And it is this sense of, I don't know if I can do it, but you find a way to do it. And you can surprise yourself when you step into these new experiences. So put yourself in a place where you haven't tried something or experienced something, or you're not an expert. Get outside of your comfort zone. And these sorts of things are good in life. It can be anything, a social experience, an exercise, meditation, some sort of a skill that you didn't know that you had, but you want to explore a little bit. Whatever it is, Libra, you're more poised to succeed at that than you might anticipate, and you never know until you try. And that's my final piece on that. It's a new start, though. I feel like this whole month is bringing through this clean slate that I haven't felt for you in a long time. Let's go ahead now and give the cards a shuffle and see what additional messages are coming through. Again, a reminder, we can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. We just got a card that flew out of the deck. It is the Three of Swords, so we'll allow that to be the center card. And let me continue to shuffle and see what else Spirit wants to bring forth. I always allow, especially when there's a card that flies out, to me that is super indicative of something that we should focus on. All right. So leave me a comment below. Let me know how everybody's doing and what resonates with this reading. I always love to read those. This is one of my favorite cards in this particular deck. That's coming through in the wealth area too. So what a great place to have a miracle card. Okay, let's just get these all arranged, and then we're going to get started with Catalyst Energy first and foremost. Particularly this month, I've been focusing on the Lord Ganesha deck because I've been trying to help certain signs get past blocks. So we have overachievers, surprise, surprise, with Libra. What happens a lot of times, especially with Libra, is the desire to please and the ability to anticipate expectations can lead to overachieving because it makes you feel good, first of all, to do well and to receive praise. But Spirit is encouraging you to do something that really resonates from a higher level. That's why when I saw this, it was more of a blessing from Spirit, not like Six of Wands energy. So we all know Libra is good at achieving, and I know you can accomplish what you set out to do. Don't second guess yourself, first and foremost. If I get an achievement card like this, it's just validating your abilities. It's saying, don't worry so much about quote unquote failure versus success. Do instead something that really, really is exciting, engaging, and challenges you a bit. I just did that with the podcast. I learned from things that went well, challenges that I had, things that I want to do a new podcast down the line. And it's sort of like, it's good to stretch yourself, okay? So don't feel like you have to be perfect at everything, because sometimes that holds you back from trying something where you'll learn as you go. And I feel like you've got everything you need this month to succeed. Don't worry about success. It's like success, first of all, it is overrated, but it's also subjective. And Spirit wants you to focus on what makes you feel fulfilled, not just what people think. Okay, let's get to that center card, Libra. We have the Three of Swords. It flew out of the deck, making it an especially important card. As I shuffled, it was the first one that Spirit wanted us to look at. So I love the rose in this Three of Swords. The rose makes appearances in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith cards, particularly in the Death card. It's on the banner that Death holds. It's also on the Fool. It's the first card that you see. And the Fool carries with it the experiences of death and rebirth as well, because it represents birth or rebirth. So you've gone through something. It changed you. It changed you for the better. And this card is saying you're probably at that last step of releasing something if you're feeling the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be a disappointment, a setback, some unexpected news that is out of your control. And it's really just and by the way, it's really the only significantly challenging card. I feel like we can deal with everything else in the spread. So know what you know what you don't know, control what you can, release what you can't, and just be the best version of yourself possible. Take some time this month to take care of your heart. And that in and of itself is an achievement. So focusing on mental and emotional health, sometimes it gets swept under the rug in everyday life or in readings and things like that. It's coming to the forefront here. The good news is, as we start to look at the card that's crossing it, we see something positive on the horizon here. So dealing with your own sort of challenge, emotional state, or again, understanding that not everything is within your control, that's going to help. Then we have celebration on top of this, the Three of Cups. There could be new love coming into your life, a new friendship. There may also just be some sort of really fun gathering. The Three of Cups can be a party. And if someone invites you to some sort of celebration like this, a graduation, a wedding, anything of that nature, this could be a great place to make a connection. And we can see the linking of the hula hoops here. Have some fun. Again, for those of you that have been overly focused on trying to work at things, fix things, etc., or even have been through a moment that has been challenging, this is saying the little things in life that are going well, that are in your control, take a moment and be grateful for those and celebrate those. Life's little victories, the fun things, and that will help out a bit as well. And it is just about frivolity and joy and having some fun and hanging out with friends. If you meet someone new, this has the ability now to kind of continue to go to the next level. Three of Cups is, though, a card that is saying, don't rush to a resolution. Have some fun in the moment of just kind of courtship, whether it is meeting a new friend or meeting a new love interest or trying something new. Again, we were just talking about it in channeled messages. Enjoy the newness. Have some fun in that process, and that joy is going to open up new doors and new areas of opportunity. Let's take a moment now to look at your karmic lesson here. We have the Hermit, which is a really positive card. In many ways, this is saying that if there was anything challenging, you've learned the lessons of that challenge. It's also showing you that if you need to kind of show up for something new, that you should be able to trust yourself that you have what it takes to achieve, to be okay, to set things into motion, as we see here with the Eight of Wands next. So let's just look at this really quickly here. I love that this is a lighthouse. The lighthouse representing your ability to lead others by example, with your knowledge, sharing your knowledge. Most importantly, though, this card is inviting you to step into the spotlight, to be the spotlight and or step into the spotlight. This happens especially when other people can't or won't do that. So you're definitely being the example and inspiring others with this card. It's also saying, kind of get out of your headspace a little bit, get out into the public. And when you allow yourself to mix and mingle, people react. Very rarely does Spirit come through and say, you should relax, you should have some fun. But Libra, I really feel like it's your month to just let the walls down a little bit, be a little less guarded, and have some fun. Let's see what's going on in the recent past. I have this feeling that this is going to be a busy month for you. More than one thing is setting sail or taking flight. We have a lot of cards of movement. Even this Hermit has the ships around it. But the Eight of Wands, possibly one of the most beautiful Eight of Wands, there's so much to like about it. I want to talk about it. First of all, it's very Mary Poppins, right? Because she used her parasol or umbrella to fly. What I like about an umbrella taking flight is even when things are a little drizzly or a little dreary, you're setting sail, you're using that current of energy and making the most of it. And I always compare the tower to surfing, and this is very close to that. If you can use the energy and be an agent of change, you can be like this Eight of Wands and allow yourself to rise above any challenges, which we saw here. You're going to rise above a few things here. Disappointment or heavy emotions, gossip, because the Three of Cups can be gossip, and feeling like you have to know everything. You're going to allow yourself to just move through these energies, perfectionism, gossip, and again, disappointment, and rise above to this Knight of Pentacles, which is waiting for you. And so keep on keeping on. Push through, be the best version of you, and just keep the pace. That's the other thing with the Eight of Wands. There's a lot going on. Feel free to delegate. Feel free to focus intention and energy on where you can make the biggest impact and let some of the other stuff go, because there's so much going on. All you have to do is keep on showing up. And that's what we have here, okay? Busy month, but busy in a very good way. Sometimes when you're feeling that energy of exhilaration and movement, time will kind of go by more quickly than you might imagine. So one thing that I'd like to give you as a piece of advice here is keep track of your appointments. Make sure that something doesn't slip past simply because there's so much going on. All right, let's look at your crowning card here. This is such a beautiful Knight of Pentacles here because it's focusing on the growth and the branching out. This horse is made of leaves here. So this month, anything that you truly sink your teeth into, put your energy into, and focus on You're seeing that branching out. And by the way, this is very nicely aligned to what I was talking about, allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone. It's going to allow your knowledge, experiences, and again, social spheres to branch out as well. I think you're going to meet some new people this month. It could be a product of moving into new change, etc. Knight of Pentacles, let's talk a little bit about it just from a traditional sense. Knights represent movement. You could be moving toward an opportunity. Someone could be coming to you, presenting an opportunity. There's also this energy where, or this expectation to take a chance, take a leap, and be in that sort of perpetual motion this month. So it's not a time where you can kind of sit on your hands and wait for things to happen. It's a very active month, but this is one where if you put yourself out there, keep the pace, rise above, you have abundance coming in. Fight for something that you care about. Reach for something you're excited to see happen, because we have reaching and moving here. And then the payoff is quite good, folks. It's the Ten of Wands, completion. One aspect of the Ten of Wands that we still see here is sometimes there's so much that you feel like, I'm a little tired. You're always a little worse for the wear with the Ten of Wands because there is that feeling of pushing to the finish line and then just like, it's been a minute. It's like a good workout, right? You have to push your body, you have to push your mind a little bit. You're sweaty, your body's a little bit sore, but you know that you're going to be happy 2 or 3 days later when, everything's starting to take effect, the muscles are building, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of what's going on here. There might be a little bit of fatigue, but take your time, don't give up. And if you are feeling a sense of being burdened, remember, as I always like to remind folks with the suit of wands, you don't have to carry the burden alone. You can delegate, you can step back because most of the previous cards are good. In fact, 6 of Wands, success, 4 of Wands, partnership, 3 of Wands, something happening quickly. So step back, work smarter, not harder, lean on the support of others. We just saw you in the 8 of Wands here. So I just want to validate that things are moving towards completion, towards the right direction. So, just kind of keep everything in focus and take it all in stride and know that you're probably just 1 or 2 steps from something big coming to a close and coming to fruition. This can also be a card of travel. Sometimes it's just temporary travel, like taking a plane flight to meet someone in a different city. It can be also representative of a commute or telecommute. And what you want to really do, if it is something that's more frequent, is figure how much that commute weighs on you. One of the single things I appreciate the most now about being able to work from a home office is not having to spend time in a car. I live in Southern California, in Los Angeles metro area, and I recently had a gathering with some of my old coworkers when I worked in an office. All of them were complaining about traffic and commute, and some of them traveled a lot, like a couple of hours, and I thought, I don't miss that. That was a burden that weighed on me. So you have to kind of weigh how much certain things are adding or subtracting from your happiness and focus on what makes you feel happiness and happier, I should say, and most balanced in your life. All right, Libra, let's look at the card that represents you this month. Page of Wands. I love this actually because it's a card that is about developing and taking that sort of light bulb moment that usually is the Ace of Wands and going 1 step further, communicating and sharing and demonstrating your ideas to others. And I love that there's even a magnification here. So one thing that this is telling you to do is focus on the thing that matters most, especially when you need to try to convince someone. It's your elevator pitch. And that's just a fancy way of saying, get it down to 1 or 2 sentences, because in an elevator, you typically have 1 or 2 floors where you can talk to someone as you're traveling, and you need to get it down to that 15 to 20 second sort of teaser where you can get people interested. So if it's an idea or a big life change or something where you want to get buy-in from the other person, keep it as simple, as elegant, and also as, inspiring as possible. And that would be my advice there. Less is more. Also, this month, you have the ability to show it, not tell it. That's one thing that I like to remind people with the Page of Wands. Page of Swords, super communicative, sometimes maybe overly talky. But the Page of Wands is very good at demonstrating, illustrating, or just pointing to a real life example. So it's coming through for you, Libra. You're so good at communication. This is a reminder to pay attention to nonverbals and to also not, nonverbal being people's face, or also just sort of like how they might, it could even be the tone if they're talking. It's not the words itself or themselves, it's actually the tone of the communication. So how does someone sound when they communicate? What are they doing with their body? And then how can you communicate outside of words? Because pictures are more universal. And so you can show a prototype or illustration and it's a lot easier. This is also just a very good card for learning, and it's beautifully matched with the Hermit. This is one of the deepest knowledge cards that I could pull, and this is a eureka moment that comes out of that. So do your homework, do your research, and it may spark inspiration this month as well. Looking at the environment, what's going on around you? Well, you have resources. I'm very happy to see Nine of Pentacles in the spread somewhere, especially in the environment. What does this mean for you? It means that if you're lacking time, energy, or support, it's just a phone call, email, or perhaps a Google search or something away, because we have that search, not the search bar, but the magnifying glass, which is typically seen on the search bar. Nine of Pentacles is an abundant card. Typically, we have the snail, which I'm so happy they put on there. The reversal of this card can mean two things. Sometimes there's the fierce independence in this card, and there's this feeling of like you have to do it on your own. So the first message from Spirit is don't be afraid to lean on others for support, to ask for help, or to see what's out there. You have a high likelihood of receiving assistance. So that's good. Don't feel like you need to speed up or slow down something just to please others. Work at the pace that feels right for you, okay? And we just get this, again, both of these cards are positive. It's saying don't get in your headspace too much. So it's confirmation that some good stuff is right around you. Just feel free to pick up some rocks and look a little closer. Make sure you haven't missed something, okay? Let's look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. I was thinking about this card last night, like the position of it, what it meant, and how important it is. So I really want to focus on it in your reading here. And I mentioned the light bulb moment, and that you are the one that's kind of turning on the light bulb here. So we have the light bulb in the shape of the Ace of Wands. And in this particular card, we can see something growing out of, again, research, words, or inspiration. So I really want you to focus on the one thing that gets you excited this month about getting up or talking to people or going to school. That should be your central focus. Also, please share the idea, or please get inspired. If you're feeling like you have block, what you can do, and it could be creative block, writer's block, just feeling like I don't know what to do next. This card shows you one way to get out of that. It is to read. It is to watch a great movie, listen to a great podcast, go out and talk to a friend or a mentor or a teacher. Open your mind using the best possible sources of information and inspiration. So learning one more time, what we're going to highlight that. However you want to inspire or educate yourself this month. The crown chakra was the one thing that I thought of coming into this reading. We have to talk about your crown. And so there's so much that can happen this month when it comes to creativity, education, and inspiration. So one thing that may help all of you is you've got this. You are not blocked, Libra. You are the antithesis of that, really, which is if you just allow yourself to be open to receive and to move beyond preconceived timelines and like I have to have this done or something has to take this shape, just let it go and be open. Be the open book. Be the open page, and just allow what wants to come through to come through. Don't overthink. That's basically what this card is saying. Some of you might just be afraid to take the first step. You may be wondering if the inspiration is valid. It is. You might be wondering, can you do it? You can. So stay affirmative, open, and basically just active with all those thoughts. Now let's look at the only other card in this entire spread, aside from the center one, that is challenging, Five of Swords. It wants to come through and block the Ten of Wands, which is graduation or movement or going to the next level. Five of Swords is someone in your life, sometimes even a voice that we have in our head where we're kind of the inner saboteur, basically. And it won't allow for accountability to come through, or sometimes just it's coming through and saying you can't do it, it'll never happen. So I really feel it's the saboteur voice. So let me highlight that. As good news happens, someone says they're interested and they want to date you, or you get an offer for, maybe a new job, or someone says, hey, I'd like to be your friend, whatever, something good. That sometimes there's a voice in our head that wonders, like, what's their motive, or can I handle this, or am I good enough? It's always good to have constructive feedback and criticism when it comes to the world at large. It's good to ask questions. But if you find yourself spiraling in the critical, this card is saying, don't spend too much time in that neighborhood. Allow things to show up as they will. Take it one step at a time, and let's quiet the inner saboteur. You can do it. You will be fine. It is okay for good things to happen, and you can manage that. This can also represent someone in your life. This can be anybody. They're very easy to recognize because when you talk to them, they're not listening, not actively listening. They're either deciding how they can counter what you just said, or they're focusing on what they want to say, not what you're saying. So, and then also if they've done something that isn't right, they don't take accountability, they point their finger. So it's moving away from people and environments that emanate with this Five of Swords, and it's muting the internal saboteur that we all have from time to time, because there's too much to love this month. There's too many positive movements. The challenges, though, very simply and clearly put, are emotional in nature, dealing with something that's challenging, and then it could be this person or this internal sort of growth out of that, which is sometimes, I don't know if I can do it because I just feel not great at the moment. So dealing with emotions, definitely key. It's a nice segue to go into the expanded forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and start off with health, which can include mental and emotional health as well. We have the octopus. And so the octopus here is nicely connected to the Eight of Wands. There's a lot going on. You can manage a lot this month, but you don't have to manage everything. Focus on what you can make the biggest effect on and where you can have the biggest impact. And also don't let yourself get swept into or pulled into other people's webs. And that's one of the challenges sometimes with this too. So the octopus is highly intelligent, and there could be people that know how to manipulate or pull you in. So you're just going to see past that. And mostly, let's just lean into the intelligence and the multitasking piece here. You can manage it. That's what this is basically saying. With intelligence, with movement, with the ability to sort of think past sometimes the desire to want to control or fix everything. I think that's going to be the main takeaway from this card, okay? And let's now look at the rest of the cards and see what other messages around health are coming through. Again, remembering that I'm looking at cards, so if anything is coming up with your body, obviously work with the doctor. Okay. This is clearly a card, like I said, for emotional and also just general mental health. This can also, though, indicate areas of sensitivity. So first of all, you could just be more sensitive this month to environmental factors or people in general, but it can also be about taking care of your heart. So in my family, there were certain issues with the heart, and then just at a certain age, I started seeing a cardiologist just for a baseline. I don't have any problems, knock on wood, but I like to keep the baseline and keep checking in because my parents didn't do that. So that can be something that you can take to heart too, which is just focusing on good cardiovascular health. And that includes so many things, from exercise to diet to, again, just keeping an eye on things. So that's the first message there. And then also reminding yourself that if you're unhappy, because this can represent that, it's sort of like spirals through everything else, and it doesn't allow you to shine with the brightness and intensity that this lighthouse wants to shine. Please have more fun this month. I don't say that all the time. Obviously, you don't want to go to massive extremes, but too much work or too much play, that's not going to help. But just allowing yourself 1 or 2 nights out or having some fun with friends occasionally, this month I think it could actually very much benefit you. Let's see. I think that when it comes to relationships in your life. This is the other thing. And we'll look at it more in a moment when I look at love, but this has to do with the effect on you. If someone around you likes to get a rise out of you, doesn't listen well, or is just argumentative, that also can cause this sort of disquieting, unhappy energy, frustration. So absolutely, that would be someone that you need to keep at arm's length and focus on, again, personal healing and boundaries with that person. Everything else is actually pretty good. Some of you may be having difficulty in concentrating, and I think it's primarily because there's so much going on. So time management, letting go of some of the responsibilities that aren't helping you or aren't inspiring you, that might be beneficial as well. So overall, a pretty good month when it comes to health. Most of it has to do with emotions this month. And that's been a constant theme through all of the April readings that I've looked at so far. Let's jump into wealth. You heard me say that this is one of my favorite cards here. We have Archangel Orion coming through, and this card is about manifesting miracles. What a cool photo this is. It reminds us that we all come from the stars. I mean, literally, this isn't just a sort of like a symbolic thing. All life on this planet is constituted from stardust. We're all stardust, right? And some star went supernova and created some of the heavier elements here that we have. And there was this big cosmic field of dust, and it all coalesced into everything that you see around us. So we are made from star stuff, people. And this card reminds you of your cosmic and celestial origins. And many of us may have remembrances of life beyond this planet. You could take this as literal as you would like. But the big piece of this that we want to look at is manifesting miracles, which is High Priestess energy. This month, when it comes to your career, if you think you can do it, you have a good chance of accomplishing it. If you can see it and you can demonstrate it, you have a good chance of getting others on board. If you, however, are feeling this sense of it will never happen, I'm not sure, I don't believe in myself, you're building walls that don't need to exist. Manifest the positive, focus on the possibilities, and see yourself as a co-creator in the experience we call life here. And see yourself as this divine star, celestial being that you are, okay? And lean into the energy of the archangels this month too. Ask for signs and symbols, and when you see them, don't second guess them. Okay, let's take a look specifically at 3 categories, really 4 here. We're going to look at those that are working, looking for work, happily retired, and maybe students as well. All right, focusing on those that are currently employed. There's some stress. For some of you, there might be stress and morale issues going on. For some of you, you might just be on the rebound, like you got out of a bad job situation or whatever, and now you're focusing on something good. Here's the thing here. I don't feel like the stress that is at the center of this card has to be there forever. It's just sort of like a wake-up call that maybe there's better things to focus on. And to focus on what you can control this month. Again, that's a common theme. If we look at the overall trajectory of those that are employed right now, I see it's busy. I see new resources coming in, more resources available, finishing something that you set out to finish, and more than one project or opportunity on your plate. The biggest challenges could be negativity from others, because this 3 of Cups is touching the 3 of Swords. This could just be someone that says something that is unkind, but it really doesn't represent you, Libra. It's one opinion in a sea of opinions. Let it go. And when I'm looking at the quality of this sort of energy, they just want to get a rise. So there's always going to be one negative comment, one person that thinks they can do better. Overall, you're really tracking nicely. Is there room to move up or to move on or to see things go in the right direction? Absolutely. With everything that I see here, we already see this happening. 8 of Wands, 10 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. The challenges for some of you, though, could be if you work at a big company, the morale thing may be out of your control and you may not be able to fix it. I also wouldn't take anybody's word unless it's in writing. Get it in writing. 5 of Swords is typically brother-sister card to the 7 of Swords, which lacks accountability. So I see them as siblings. I would want to get everything in black and white and make sure that you absolutely feel solid with that. really focus on inventive energy this month. Some of you might actually be coming up with something new. Maybe I have some engineers that are watching or some creatives out there. But this is a month to look at the horizon, look beyond this, lead, be the lighthouse, literally rise above this and move to this next card is what we see. And there are some things that are kind of baked in that you can't control. But if you can live with it, then there might be some really great things and you can just compartmentalize it. But if you can't do that, then it might be time to set your sights and set your sails in a different direction, okay? And I do feel like that's a nice segue to the next piece, but if you want to look for work and find something else, you can land a new job this month for sure. Let's look at those that are job seeking. So with the Knight of Pentacles in the crowning position, it's a yes. With a manifestation card in your oracle position, it's a yes. You may need to move. And I mentioned we had the Fool at the beginning. So the 10 of Wands can be relocation or commute. It's either telecommute, some other sort of transportation where you're going to spend some time moving. And we talked about that at the very, very beginning when I was pulling the Celtic Cross. Or it's a physical relocation. So look at that and see how you feel about that. That's one way that you could definitely land in a new position. Some of you it was a rough patch that you went through maybe at the last job or the way that it ended. There's still some healing to be done. Work on networking, talk to some friends, talk out some of that so that when you go into the new job or go out for interviews, you're not carrying with you that sort of, it's like PTSD almost for some of you. And it can definitely be that way sometimes when you're dealing with a bad job. It kind of sets in your energy. Bubble up the work that you've done. I'd love for you to revisit things like your portfolio site, your CV or resume, or LinkedIn profile, however you're presenting yourself to the world. Some of you might be afraid to talk about things. There might be something where you're like, should I really put that on there? Yes, as long as you've done it and you're proud of it, it's time to bubble it up. Don't sell yourself short. And the flip side of this is true. Only put things on your resume that you truly have done or want to do again. So all of those can apply depending on, which facet of job searching you're at right now. Let me see if there's anything else. People are looking for thinkers right now. So it's good to be at an interview, asking questions, show that you've done homework so that it's not just the same old. You could say, I looked at this product and I saw that you did this way in this quarter and I'm wondering about pull some specific threads and then also say, this is important to my growth and development. Does this exist at the company? How are you guys dealing with this? What's the culture like? Really show you that you've done your homework and that you're thinking about, being there for a while. That's going to be something that sets you apart. And always, even when you had that negative experience here, rise above. It isn't good in an interview if you've had a bad experience to speak negatively of the previous place. You can there are core phrases you can use. You could just say, it was time for a new growth opportunity, or I felt like you can even just say there were some cultural things, but I really learned everything that I needed to, and I'm so excited to be able to, see what else is out there. Find a way to not cast a shadow or a negative tone on something because that ends up clouding the interview. You can just say I was ready for more growth and I couldn't find it there. Something like that is fine. Anyway, you'll figure it out. It's your trajectory and your communication skills, but try not to be negative. That's the main thing there. That's it. A negotiation table, it feels like they're already offering a pretty decent amount. You might be able to get a little bit, but keep it realistic. We're looking at maybe 10% here, more or less. And that's about it, folks. I feel like it's a good month to find new work. And I feel like you've done the work. So just circle out a little bit further than you normally would. Whenever I have 10 of Wands or 6 of Swords, it is about going out of your normal geographical sphere or circle. And you'll find something better if you're willing to do that. Okay? Let's look at those that are retired. Travel, for sure, is coming through. First of all, good job for some of you that have been saving diligently. This is one of the best cards that I can pull. I know it's not everyone that's listening, but for many of you, that are out there. The Nine of Pentacles means that you played the long game. You've been saving and taking care of yourself here. And some of you can afford to travel if you're looking for that. Other things that I see though is, I mention this all the time, but I feel like I need to keep saying it. It's still good to learn something new. And that was what we talked about at the beginning. I'm going to pull this card up again. So as I said right here, it's an initiation, a new start, something different. And I feel like this could be really, really fun. It could also be, if we go back to the previous slide here, a decision for some of you to go back and learn something because you can. Any sort of learning experience can be accomplished no matter what stage of life you're in. And what I've learned myself, because I actually took some classes when I was in my corporate career, maybe 10 years in. I just wanted to learn a little bit about like studio lighting. I took another class to deepen my understanding of photography, and I just audited these. I was like, I don't need any more degrees or education. I just want to take them for fun. I had so much fun because there was no grade associated with it. And I took extension classes, which just means like night classes at good universities. But what you see at an extension class would be kids that are in college just trying to get transfer credits, mid-career people, and then there were some retired people as well. And it was so fun because you got all of these different age groups working together. Sometimes we would pair up on projects, and it just felt like we were all there for the sake of learning. So I think that we're lifetime students, right? So you can take on something new at any point, and some of you may feel inspired to do so. Go for it if you want to, especially if it's spiritual in nature. That crown awakening could be deciding to go deeper into a spiritual or some sort of intuitive path as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything for that. Students, to that end, if you don't like where you're headed, it's time to steer your path in another direction. Three of Swords at the center can just be the stress of finals or test period. It's reminding you to have some fun and remember why you're studying what you're studying. And if you don't feel that if you feel torn between where you're at and where you want to be, you can make a change happen this month. You can talk to the dean or change the major or the minor or whatever, and have fun with that as well. It's okay to change your mind if you need to. The Three of Swords came through for a reason, so make sure that you feel that sense of fulfillment first and foremost, okay? Let's go ahead now and move on to love and relationships. Well, I mean, everything was synchronistic this month, but this card especially, that's what you want to see when we're looking at relationships. It says, I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. If you're happy, good for you. Don't second guess it. Celebrate it. And if some of you are kind of like on the heels of like it wasn't so good and then you met someone or you started something and you feel really, really good now, it's okay. You're deserving of it, and this time can be different. This is a new start. That's the big theme here this month for you, Libra. And we see things moving in the right direction. I love the playful energy of the dolphins, right? So again, I feel like this is a good month to grow the social sphere, even if it is just friends and platonic energy or reconnecting with family, whatever that is. It's important to be social and to get out of your hermit phase. All right, Libra, let's look at this in three different categories. Those in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. I like to start off relationships with the assumption that things are good and the cards can represent tension or stress around the relationship. So if everything is good, the Three of Swords can represent something at work or in your environment that is kind of bubbling into the relationship. The Three of Cups actually gives you the way to deal with this, which is make sure that you're spending time with each other and knowing that like you don't have to be one another's teacher, therapist, or doctor. This card is saying be friend and lover to your partner and encourage and empower them to find the support that they need if it's more than you can handle elsewhere. Because if we look at these three cards, there's a lot going on. There might be a little bit of stress, and it may be too much for one or both of you to shoulder the burden of. This can also just be kind of reaching out to your network. It could be teachers, friends, doctors, co-workers. So also lean into the network as well. And then that feels like it's managed. What I like about the relationship is there's depth to it. The Hermit is one of the deepest cards. There is investment from both sides, time and energy to make it work. there's the ability to listen and understand and see it from two perspectives. What's lacking this month is perhaps the ability to listen, active listening. Maybe one partner just doesn't want to take accountability or follow through on something. And again, if it's not directly something that affects you, but you see a pattern in their life, you can shine a light on it because that's what this card would do, but you can't necessarily force them to change or tell them what to do. And that is the challenge in present relationships. If everything isn't working, then what this can represent is an argument. So for those of you that have been having a rocky experience here, this can be an argument. The argument could also be based on a third party, parent, an ex-lover or a friend that's kind of getting in the middle where they shouldn't be. And what's important here then would be boundaries. If it's your partner kind of saying, hey, you need better boundaries, or if it's someone in your life that's creating the tension, creating that boundary and saying, this is getting in the way of my relationship. So that's one thing. For others, I feel like talking about money is going to be really important here with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And just it feels like you guys are tracking in the right direction, but this can be a little bit controlling. So also taking a look at that and making sure that you both have a say. Overall, it's good. The main thing here would just be third parties, arguments, or accountability. And if in a strong relationship, you're going to be able to get through it. In a weaker relationship, this can eat away at things. That's all I'm seeing. All right, for those that are looking for love this month, can you find it? Yes, you can. We have a lot of court cards coming through. And I actually, I quite like the Page of Wands. One thing that I see here is there's at least two options here. One of them, you're not feeling the connection. Ace of Wands in reverse and the Five of Swords, both reversed. It's almost like you're trying to talk yourself into liking someone that looks good on paper, but when you're face to face, you're not feeling your heart skip a beat. It's so weird because chemistry isn't something that, it's not like a lab where you can create it. When it comes to two people, you either feel it or you don't. So for those that are looking for love, if you don't feel it, just let it go, let it be. Talk to that. Let them know too. Just say, I'm not feeling it, but I appreciate your time and energy. If you are feeling it, well, then there's a chance to take it to the next level for sure. What I get here is that one or both of you may be a little bit independent, and it feels like one or both of you may be on a rebound or trying to make sure that you're not going to get hurt. I get that you're protecting yourself. This is beneath the surface. There's a sunny exterior, but there's a little bit of inner healing to do. Do the healing, okay? This person could be a little bit further away than you're used to, or could be traveling a little bit more than you're used to. That could create some challenges. Your schedule's busy as well. So balancing your time is going to be the biggest hurdle this month. For those that are single and happy, good for you. I see this month as being such a great month to accomplish things, literally. We have achievement coming through. I think it's a great time to travel for an experience. It's kind of an unusual thing to say, but but I think that if let's say there's a seminar or a special convention or something like that, you are going to meet like-minded people. And I feel like you could expand your social sphere, new friends, new coworkers, new networks by getting out there. So traveling, whether it's for work or for learning or just for fun, you're still going to meet people. And single and happy doesn't mean single and lonely. It means that you're meeting people more on a platonic and friend type level. So there you go with that. I also feel like you could meet a partner that could help you out with creative ventures too. This is someone who can see the big picture or help you see potential as well. Okay, pretty good month overall. And the important thing on this one is, again, that it's good to feel happy. And if you're not feeling happy, anything that you can do to tread closer in that direction is going to be important. Let's move on to the Destiny card. Destiny, of course, being your trajectory. And we have here letting go of nostalgia here. We have memory in reverse. And so this, for many of you, is saying that, it doesn't always behoove you to focus on, I would have, could have, should have, the lens of regret or thinking in reverse. We can't change history. We can adjust the future by making better choices in the present. So remember the past, but live in the present. And that's the main message here. There could also be something that comes back from childhood or from something that you tried to push under the surface. This is a memory that needs to be dealt with, that needs to be healed. And once that's done, you can release that as well. So the memory is a teaching sort of element, but it isn't something that we have to fixate on at all. Okay? Let's bring Apollo up for a second. Hey, buddy. As he's digging in the bed a little bit, wanting some attention. By the way, this is another sort of energy that you can connect with, which is pets. And they are such a lovely healing energy. If you're going through any of that Three of Swords that we were talking about at the center, that can help out a lot. He's a terrier breed, by the way, a Yorkshire and a Lhasa Apso, so they just like to dig in their beds. I get questions all the time. What is your dog doing? He is being a puppy dog. That's what they do. Let's expand the forecast now. We're going to take a look at sun, rising, and moon sign messages to give you a little bit more insight, Libra, into those particular parts of the sign. All right, let's see what's going on here. Sun, we got 2. Rising and moon. Okay, sun sign messages, Libra sun. Okay, I love that we've got the 6 of Cups. 6 of Cups, let's just leave them as they are. 1 reversed, 1 upright. So the 6 of Cups is a connection to something from youth, from childhood. It's the inner child coming out as well, saying, let's have some fun. And it's a reminder here that again, age doesn't really play a part in this. You're not too young, you're not too old for love, for learning, for expansion. So many balloons in this deck too, or flying sort of metaphors. This is a month for things to take off. Allow yourself to experience new things. There could be new love coming in for some of you, new love or new friendship. And if it is new, there is this feeling that you've known them for a long time. So this could be a karmic partnership, soulmate. You may also be healing old partnerships or old things from the past because of the 3 of Swords. Beneath this, we have the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords can come through when you feel like you're at an impasse. Basically, torn between two things very similar. They're shades of gray. It's like, I don't know what to do. In this case, go into your heart, because the 3 of Swords was at the center, and choose the one that allows you to be happier. That's your compass. Happiness is your compass. That's a nice mantra. And you're going to allow that to bring you to the joyful 6 of Cups here. And I really do feel like it's your moment to have some fun, to meet new people, and to connect with that inner child, okay? And that is the message for Libra Sun. Libra Rising. Success. No surprise here. I was waiting for the 6 of Wands to come through. So in this one, we can see that there's also like a payoff here. We have the hummingbird drinking from this flower. So for many of you, you've been working really, really hard. This card is saying, drink in the moment of success when it happens. Don't simply jump from one thing to the next, one job to the next, one relationship to the next, one moment of success to the next. Also enjoy the path, drink each and every moment in. We don't know how many days we get on this planet, how many years we have on this planet. Enjoy every moment. Imagine tomorrow you were at your soul review, looking back on what the previous day was. Make sure there's no regrets. If you have regrets, allow them to inform tomorrow's goals. Let them be the things that you're going to work on for tomorrow. And yeah, don't live with that sense of woulda, coulda, shoulda. Just be informed by the past, inspired by the possibilities, and drink in this moment. But in short, 6 of Wands is success. 6 of Wands reversed is just like the achievement card reversed. And it's basically saying, don't let the fear of failure or the pressure of success get in your headspace too much. Keep your mind focused on what feels right for you. That will naturally lead you to completing something successfully. Libra Moon, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse, working smarter, more strategically. If we look at this one in the upright position, she's not getting caught up in the sort of competitive nature that often is showing up in this card. She's thinking 1, 2, or 3 steps ahead, just like a chess master would. And she's doing everything with a sense of strategy, planning, and not sort of like sweating the small stuff. With the card reverse, it's saying you're going to move beyond all of the things that can be in the 5 of Wands, specifically competition or a lack of leadership, and you're going to show people that there is a better way. And we have that here in the 8 of Wands, and things will start to take flight if you do that, okay? And for some of you, you're just tired of doing busy work. There are often times, jobs where they just have you do stuff but it doesn't actually serve a higher purpose. But there are other parts of our life where we're stuck in a rut. It could be a relationship where you're putting in the work, but nothing's happening in it. It could be an activity where you're like, I keep doing this, but it's not really kind of feeding my soul. This is a month to say so long to that and allow yourself to move in a new direction. And now, my friends, we're coming to the final question. This is your chance to take a look at one last question that's on your mind. So go ahead and form that question. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Three of Pentacles. What a formidable card here. For those that asked a yes or no question, this is a yes. What does this card represent? Well, recognition. And I mentioned earlier that some of you shouldn't be focused so much on the recognition, but this card is saying it's coming. Maybe not immediately, but it's coming. It's a card of mastery, meaning that if you set out to learn or to do something, not only can or will you do it, but you'll do so with a degree of, not perfection, but like I should say, what's the best word? Acumen. Like you're doing a really good job. So you can accomplish what you set out to do. You can learn your lesson and you're going to really inspire others. This is also a card of working well with others, having fun. By the way, these are two cards that work really nicely together. If you've ever been in a group at school or have had a job where the people around you are amazing, it can make up for some of the challenges because they are, in short, this kind of like family. And I get a vibe of that this month because these are people you love and this is something you love. And the combination or the intersection of these two mean that you're going to have some really important relationships coming through activities, through jobs, through school, through anything where you have a vested interest in success. So I think it's a good month to learn something new. And it can be anything. Like I said, you could just be taking a certification class, a training, audit something like I did, or just get out there and maybe even it's a sport or a hobby as well. Please have some fun this month. That includes also creative or artistic things, dancing, painting, singing, all of that, because you're going to meet like-minded individuals and also just open up the heart space. All right, my friends, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, could you do me a simple favor and like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'd just like to say thanks for doing that. You can also give me a follow across social media. My handle is my full name. It's on all major platforms. If you have any questions, you can always go to my website to make sure that the links are official or here on the main page of YouTube. Keep an eye out for imposters. Know this: I will not offer any private readings. I don't use direct messages or send any invites. There are no extra numbers or spaces in my usernames. I have no secondary accounts. And if someone says any of those things, block, report, let me know about it as well. Stay safe. If you want to give back, you can do it right here on YouTube through super stickers, super chats, super thanks, and also through memberships. And the memberships help me with so many great things, including my podcast, which I just launched. You can see that here on YouTube on the podcast tab. You can also find it on all major podcast directories, including Spotify and Apple Music. So whenever you guys give back, that helps. Whenever you watch a full video and don't skip the ads, that helps. I put all of that into cool stuff like this, which is just me giving back to all of you and having some fun too. So thank you for your support on that. My upload schedule is usually Monday, Thursday, and Friday. There are some exceptions. I will always put that on the community tab. And that, my friends, is everything for today. Sending you love, thanks, and gratitude, hoping that you're having a great day and a great month ahead. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.